refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, this episode, so I already did one earlier. Make sure y'all check that out. Recap week 9. This episode, we're going to talk about the games tonight and tomorrow. We got 2 games tonight. We got one Conference USA game, Kennesaw State. Actually, UTEP at Kennesaw State. And then we have James Madison at Texas State. Then tomorrow, we have Jack State at Middle Tennessee State. And we have FIU at Missouri State. So we're going to go over those 4 games. And we got to talk about the updated top 25 polls, man. We do got to talk about those today. But before I do that, I'd like to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, it helps the network. It helps my channel, CTC, by way of the Refuse to Lose Network. Now, I'm going to briefly talk about the shows real quick because I talked about them earlier. And the main show comes on in about 35, 40 minutes. So I do got to hurry up and get off the airways for them. But we got the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, Tuesday and Fridays, 7 o'clock to 8:30. We have BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Shout out to Teddy going over the World Series. We have FFC, Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. We have Unfazed every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn. Dave's Doghouse, featuring Dave. In the Red Corner, Boxing, featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. And the Joe Jordan Show. So make sure you tune into those shows as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. So we have the polls. We have to talk about the polls today. So let's start. We already know who our top 5 is. Those are probably not going to change until somebody takes a loss. We have number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, the Fighting Cincinnati's in Indiana. Number 3, Texas A&M, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought Texas A&M might jump Indiana with how bad they beat LSU on the road, but Indiana stays at 2. I mean, considering that Indiana absolutely manhandled UCLA at home, 56-6, I guess that does, UCLA was on a 3-game winning streak, winning by double digits, so that does look good. 4 is Alabama, which beat Georgia, and 5 is Georgia. Now, 6, still Oregon. 7, Ole Miss now. They replaced Georgia Tech. I knew that was coming. The SEC is harder than the ACC, so I'll give them that. I'm not mad at that. 9 is Vanderbilt, and 10 is BYU, who flips. Well, technically, I hate that. We're going 10 is BYU, 11 is Miami. Ain't no 10 A's. I don't do A's, B's, 2 10s. No. You put BYU at 10, 10 is BYU. 11, in my opinion, they feel like it's Miami. So, because if they didn't feel that BYU should be 10, they would have left them at 11, left Miami at 10. So, we're doing 10 BYU, Miami's at 11. I don't do that 2 10s, 10A, 10B, no. So, and I would agree. BYU's undefeated. Now, we go to 12, Notre Dame, who's 1 game away from bowl eligibility. Not mad at it there. 13, Texas Tech. Not mad. Shout out to them getting a shutout win. 14, Tennessee. Again, not mad. 15, Virginia. 16, Louisville. I actually have no problem up until 20. 18, Oklahoma. I mean, they just lost to Ole Miss. Really good team. You drop them 5 spots. I think that's punishment enough. 17 to Cincinnati. I don't know if I said that. They move up 4 spots. I love it there. 7-1. Only loss being to Nebraska, who was ranked for a point of time. 18, Oklahoma. 19, Missouri. They lost to 10th ranked Vanderbilt. So you drop them 4 spots because of that. Cool with that. Good punishment. 20th is Texas. No, unranked Texas. I do not care that they won. I do not care that they were ranked prior. I don't think they should have been ranked coming into that game Saturday. Texas is only ranked because of the Longhorn, and their name is Texas. That's the only reason why they are ranked. You put that resume, and you put, let's say, I'll say Washington, who's 6-2. You put that resume with a Washington College on there, they're not ranked. You put that resume, you put Iowa on there, they're not ranked. You put that resume with Iowa State, they're not ranked. Unranked Texas. Stop ranking teams because of their name and the power that name holds. Stop it. 21, Michigan. Same thing. Michigan lost to USC. How is USC 23rd and Michigan 21? Please explain that to me. Same record. Michigan got smoked, but yet Michigan's ranked ahead of USC. It's because of the name. Get that out of here. Michigan, to me, shouldn't even be ranked. They're not winning good enough to be a ranked team. No. 22nd, Houston. Love it. 7-1, just beat ranked Arizona State. Love it. They beat the Arizonas. They can say they own Arizona. 23rd, USC. Hate it. Should be above Michigan. 24th, Utah. Love it. And Memphis getting love at 25th. I love it. 7-1. You can chalk up that bad loss to UAB. Saying Brandon Lewis got hurt late. It's still a bad loss. But hey, they're giving a group of 5 schools some leeway. I love to see it. Now, who I think should still be ranked? Honestly, South Florida. 2 losses. Miami, who y'all think is top 15, and Memphis, who y'all just ranked. So technically, they have 2 ranked losses. Now, granted, when they lost to Memphis, they weren't ranked. But as soon as they lost to Memphis, you ranked them. USF should still be ranked. Get Michigan out of here. Get Texas out of here. And I'm going to say it again. Washington should be ranked. If Michigan takes a loss, right? But then they win a game and they become ranked. Why that can't happen for Washington? Now, I know that would completely step on my Michigan take. But, I mean, clearly, if they're going to do it like that, then, hey, I'm going off of them. So, now, if we're not going off them, I don't think Washington should be ranked. Because Michigan, if I can say all that about Michigan, I have to keep it fair with Illinois. Even though Washington did beat a ranked team after losing to Michigan. Michigan did not beat a ranked team. Michigan beat Washington to become ranked, who's not ranked. After getting smoked, by the way. Just got to say that again. I'll probably say like Tulane. Tulane's the team that comes to mind that should be ranked. Only loss being the Ole Miss. Ole Miss is top 10. Excuse me, that's 7. Why is Tulane not ranked? Because it's Tulane. It's the name, man. So, but that's what all I got for y'all on the polls today. The people that got dropped were South Florida, LSU, which I've been screaming LSU was not even top 10, and now they're unranked. Illinois, which, hey, they're not a ranked team. And Arizona State. I mean, hey, you lost at 24th. You got what you got. I am glad to see that people are voting for San Diego State, though. If you remember, I gave San Diego State some love on my podcast a week ago. So I am happy that they're getting some love. I see Navy's getting some love. I love that. Undefeated, period. They're an undefeated team. So I love to see that. Tulane. Washington, 3rd. Iowa starting to get some love again after that blowout win against Minnesota. Would love to see that as well. And, I mean, South Florida. So, hey, I'm happy to see some group of 5 schools getting some love to be considered. But that's all I have for y'all today in Poll Talk, and we'll get right into the weekday Conference USA game, starting with UTEP at Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State comes into this one as 11.5-point home favorites. This game is 8 o'clock on ESPNU, so a significantly late kickoff there. Now, for UTEP, offense just got to get going. Their offense has just not been it. Malachi Singleton, Skylar Locklear. Doesn't matter who's been at quarterback. This offense just has not been it for UTEP. They got to make this a low-scoring game because the offense has not been it. And Kennesaw State has been putting up points at a rapid pace. They put up 35, I believe, against Louisiana Tech. They respond next week and put up, I believe, another 30 ball against FIU, I would like to say. Yeah. They gonna have to make this a low-scoring game because their offense can't get going. If Kennesaw State runs up the score like they've been doing the past few weeks, UTEP doesn't have a chance with the way that offense has been performing. So you want to make this a low-scoring game. They actually put up 45 against FIU. My apologies, I shorted them. Next, they got to get off the field on third downs. No big explosive plays allowed. That was key last week for Kennesaw State against FIU. They was getting big plays after big plays. Cannot allow that to happen if you're UTEP. And they got to stop the quarterback run. Now, the reason why I didn't put a quarterback name down is because I looked this up it has been about 30, 40 minutes ago. Amari Odom is still questionable. There's really no answer whether he's playing or whether it be Dexter Williams. So I don't know who's going to be a quarterback right now. I didn't look. I tried to find it. Look, man, it's tough. I couldn't even find out for another game. Caden Creel, it looks like he's going to go, but it's not concrete. Same thing with this Amari Odom situation for Kennesaw State. Nothing concrete, but either way, both quarterbacks can run. It's just Amari Odom to me is the better passer than Dexter Williams. As it won't. Okay, there we go. So, but if you're Kennesaw State, you got first of all, is Amari Odom back? Just talking about it. He's questionable for the night. Secondly, must be able to run the quarterback. Which one it is, whatever one it is, got to be able to run him. Third, if it's Dexter Williams tonight, he got to be accurate. He has to be accurate. He's not accurate throwing the football, not as accurate as Amari Odom. Fourth, get Gabriel Benyard the ball. He's on my thumbnail for a reason. The man just makes plays and finally score. Like I said, if Kennesaw State puts up a ton of points, UTEP will not be able to keep pace. So Kennesaw State wants to get off to a hot start offensively. And if that is the case, UTEP is finished. And I'm going with Kennesaw State to win this game because UTEP offense is just so bad. That's pretty much the reason why I think Kennesaw State, even if Kennesaw State puts up 20 points, I think they get it done against UTEP. But I think they're going to put up another 30 ball. Like I said, they put up 40 against FIU, 30 against Louisiana Tech. I think they could begin the 30s again, probably even more. And UTEP just doesn't have the offense to match that. So give me Kennesaw State at home to win this game. Shout out my boy David Burns. He was in the other show earlier. He's in this live as well. He's just watching from Cedar Hill, Texas. Appreciate you again, my guy. Next, we got James Madison at Texas State. Now, James Madison is 7.5 point road favorites in this matchup against Texas State, and I get my odds from FanDuel, not sponsored, but that's what I bet on, so that's what I use for my show. This game is 8:00 as well on ESPN2. So, 2 games. If you got YouTube TV like me, you got the multi-view. So James Madison got to run Alonzo Barnett and Matt Saluka. I do like the added bonus of having Matt Saluka. He's like the more powerful runner than Alonzo Barnett. So short yard situations, they run like quarterback powers, and he battles his way for first downs. So definitely shout out to him. Definitely got to use him as well. Now, also, they got to stop the run of Texas State. They love to use Lincoln Parade. They love to run Brad Jackson, the quarterback. Texas State loves to run the ball, so JMU has to figure out a way to stop that. Next, they got no big plays to Bo Sparks and Chris Dawn Jr. Both receivers can stretch the field. Now, Chris Dawn Jr. is like mainly a big play down the field receiver, while Bo Sparks can do like it all. He can work the short game, the intermediate, and he can beat you deep. Bo Sparks is probably the more polished, I don't want to say polished, but the more well-rounded receiver. But you can't allow so many big plays to them. Contain Brad Jackson in that pocket, man. Brad Jackson is an explosive quarterback for the Texas State Bobcats. He can definitely beat you outside that pocket and get off the field on third downs if you're JMU. Now, if you are Texas State, like you got to stop the quarterback run. You got to finish games. Texas State has been up in the last 3 games late and lost them all. They were up against Arkansas State. They ended up losing. They were up against Marshall, ended up losing. And they were up big against Troy, ended up losing. Those last 3 games, they have not been able to finish games while being up. That has to change against JMU this week. They got to be able to run Lincoln Parade, the running back. Like I said, got to get the run game going. Score touchdowns, not field goals, because of that JMU offense. You got to put up touchdowns. And they got to hit on explosive plays. But my winner in this one, in this game, I think it's tough for me to pick. But ultimately, I had to go JMU because Texas State inability to finish games. Point blank period. JMU, they can look at a game, like I said, Nebraska and Maryland. They can be down late. but they know that they're in the game because Texas State has not been able to finish them lately. Texas State was up, I think, like 14 against Troy and blew that game. Texas State was up, I think, another double-digit game against Marshall and lost in overtime. So JMU, no matter what the situation is, can feel like they're in the game because of how Texas State has played of late. Can Texas State turn that around? Yes, they can, but they have not shown the ability to do so. And with that being said, I'm going to take James Madison in this ball game. Next, we got the Wednesday games. We have Jacksonville State or Jack State. Oh, by the way, I missed some comments. Shout out Miss Stephanie Padilla, man. First time seeing you comment. Appreciate you stopping by the live. If you don't know, I am live on YouTube. I would love for you, if you do have a YouTube account, to subscribe on YouTube as well. But I do appreciate you listening and comment. I appreciate your comment. I do see a comment right here. It says love Texas State football a lot. I do as well. JG Khan got me sold, man. I do love Texas State football. I watched the UTSA game. I thought that was a heck of a game by Texas State to win that game, the battle of the 210. Love that game. I am disappointed though these last couple games. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very disappointed in these last 3 games. But I appreciate your comments. I appreciate you stopping by. Wednesday, like I said, we got Jacksonville State at Middle Tennessee State. Now, Jacksonville State is one of the hotter teams in Conference USA. But Middle Tennessee State, again, they just been dropping games. Especially, I think they're winless in conference. Yeah, they lost in Nevada, I think, too. They just been dropping games, man. Middle Tennessee State's been dropping games left and right. They were in a close one against Delaware. Well, they made it close. They scored a touchdown late to ruin my -6.5. But whatever. Jack State. Is Caden Creel back? Again, I was looking. It looks like he is back. He's questionable right now. I was looking for it. Didn't find anything concrete saying he was back, but it looks like he's a go because he's good. He's really good for the Jack State run game with him and Cam Cook, which going into my next point, they have to run Cam Cook. He's almost at 1,000 yards for the Jack State Gamecocks, and this is game number 8 for them. So he's huge for that offense. Pressure Nick Vadiato, the quarterback from Middle Tennessee State, which is finally his senior year. It felt like he's been there forever, but you got to put pressure on him. Maybe you get a turnover. I think they did a really good job with Nick Minucci when Jack State played Delaware as well. So put some pressure on him. Continue to kill Middlebrook, the running back from Middle Tennessee State. Don't let him beat you up in the run game. Get some big plays. And last but not least, stay ahead of the chains. I think Jack State offense is super efficient when they're ahead of the chains, not when they're behind them. Now, if you're Middle Tennessee State, you got to protect the football. You cannot give Jack State you cannot give Jack State extra opportunities because that'll lead to a blowout. I know you're at home. You want to keep the home crowd in it. Cannot afford to turn the ball over, especially with how they play football, how they want to run the ball and just attack. You'll find yourself in a hole if you give Jack State short fields. You want to get Jack State behind the chains because that's not how they want to run their offense. You too have to establish the run with Jaquil Middlebrook, contain Cam Cook. And while you have to protect the football, you got to take away the other football as well from Jack State. Because if you don't, I think Jack State's going to run up the score. And with that being said, my winner is Jacksonville State, man. They're just playing really good football. The run game is super on fire for Jacksonville State. And I think Middle Tennessee State is going to have a tough chance stopping that run of Cam Cook and Caden Creel if he is back officially. So with that being said, I'm taking Jack State to win this game. Middle Tennessee has a pretty decent passing game, but I think Jack State gets home to Vadiato. They did a good job, like I said, on Minucci. They pressured him pretty well. I think they did the same thing as Middle Tennessee State, and they get a dub. I believe they're still undefeated in conference play. So shout out to Jack State. We got a couple comments, and then we'll move on to the last game to discuss for this show. It's my brother. He said, yeah, that's unacceptable. Yeah, the way Texas State has been blowing games lately is very unacceptable. We have a comment about Texas football. Texas Longhorns suck. How did they go from the number 1 team to going to 22 in the rankings? They shouldn't even be ranked, if we're being honest. So they should, the message should be saying, which it's because of the name, that Texas Longhorns went from the number 1 team to unranked, but they're now currently ranked and at 20. So it's because of the name. But I definitely feel you. That defense is phenomenal for Texas. It's just that offense, man, very lackluster. And it leaves that defense on the field. They get off the field, boom, they're right back on because the offense goes 3 and out. And shout out my boy David. He said, Steph, easy. They lose a few big games. But it's the name. That's how they still rank. The name. It's the name. We'll move on to the last game. FIU at Missouri State. Now, this game, I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't pick this game. Like, I had to pick a game, so I picked the winner, but I picked it like right before I went live. And this game is tough to me. FIU is coming off the blood loss to Kennesaw State, while Missouri State is coming off the overtime win against New Mexico State on the road. Missouri State is 3.5-point home favorites. This game is 8 o'clock on CBSN. Hold on. I answer. Jack State head coach. I forgot his name. He took over for. He was an interim coach for Rodriguez, Rich Rod, and I forgot his daggone name. So give me 1 second. Charles Kelly. That's what his name is. Yeah, he took over. He was an interim. He took over for the bowl game when they played Ohio in the Cure Bowl. They lost too, but they almost came back and won. But it's Charles Kelly. But FIU, they got to run Keon Owens, man. Keon Owens, again, major performer the past 2 weeks, over 150 yards. He's an animal with that ball in his hands. He's tough to bring down. He's speedy. He can hit the second level. You got to get him going. You got to force some turnovers because that was huge in the win against Western Kentucky. Forced 2 interceptions. Didn't give up nothing but 2 field goals, and that was big in that upset win, in my opinion. Pressure Jacob Clark because he will get that ball away. He did it against New Mexico State last week. Win the field position battle because I do see this game being a bit defensive, and you got to win the field position battle so you can run Keon Owens, and hopefully he breaks one with a shorter field. And is Keon Jenkins healthy? Because I believe Keon Jenkins went out of the game last week. He is questionable to go tomorrow. Is he healthy? Because if he is, his legs will be key in that game against Missouri State. Now, for Missouri State, they got to protect the football. Did a bad job of doing that last week. I believe they had 3-4 turnovers against New Mexico State. That was the reason why New Mexico State was even able to force overtime. Both teams did a bad job protecting the football in that game, but Missouri State didn't do themselves no favor. Have to stop Keon Owens. I gave him enough praise. Yeah, he got to be top of that priority list. Get off the field on third downs. They did a pretty decent job of doing that last week. Get FIU behind the chains. I do think FIU wants to run the ball, stay ahead of the chains. They don't really want to be too pass happy. Again, they lost their 2 best weapons last year in Eric Rivers and Dean Patterson, both to Georgia Tech, and established Shamari Lawrence, who had almost 100 yards against New Mexico State last week. But my winner, and like I said, I even wrote a winner down, scratched it out, and went the opposite. But I went FIU. And the reason why I went FIU is because I do think FIU can run the ball on Missouri State. I do think Missouri State has a good defense. But also, I went FIU because Jacob Clark can turn that ball over. I do see Jacob Clark turning the ball over. Maybe not as much as last week, but 1, maybe 2 picks. I can definitely see it. While I'm not super sold on FIU offense, I do think FIU can move the ball, like I said, on the ground. Missouri State can move the ball as well. I just think the difference in that game is FIU forcing turnovers and winning that turnover battle over Missouri State. So I'm going to roll with FIU on the road on this one. Now, that is the end of the episode for today. I'll be back Saturday to discuss the 9 games I have written down for y'all. It's not super action-packed. We have 1 ranked-on-ranked matchup. 2, actually. I'm sorry. We have 2 ranked-on-ranked matchups. The first one being Vanderbilt at Texas. The second one being Oklahoma at Tennessee. So that should be fun to go over. I mean, y'all should know by now who I got in Vandy, Texas. But that'll be a good one. Y'all enjoy these 2 games y'all got. Enjoy the main show that's live in about 15 to 20 minutes. Featuring Joe, Tom O, and Dave, I believe, should be back today. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm gone. Oh, hold on, I got a comment. Shout out. You said the Panthers look to avoid another 1-3 start. Okay, cool. So yeah, with that being said, that has been my week 10 weekday. Hold on, let me see. All right, since you here, you got me here. Wyoming at San Diego State. 2 really good teams, or 2 really good defenses. Wyoming offensively. San Diego State. I'm sorry, man. San Diego State looks like one of the top teams in the Mountain West. San Diego State defense is ridiculous. They pitched a shutout last week against Fresno State. Pitched a shutout against Cal not too long ago. And they can put up points. They're explosive, man. Jordan Napier, explosive receiver. Lucky Sutton, explosive running back. I got San Diego State in that matchup, man. I think Wyoming puts up a fight because of that scoring defense. But I don't think they have enough. offensively to mess with San Diego State. So you ask, I give you San Diego State in that matchup. With that being said, man, appreciate y'all watching. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel already, please do. It's at Carl Talking College on YouTube. But I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.